morning, everybody. Welcome to the journey. Today we're going to be talking about some frustrations, some exciting things, and it's about how to find a job in this world of COVID and mass layoffs and not so nice things. I was supposed to do this yesterday, and I became quite frustrated. I was spending my time on the internet on how to write a resume. And I'm stymied, to be quite honest. It's not one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why that is. It's just not. So what I wanted to do yesterday was simply sit down, write a resume. Now, I'm working with a company called Right Management. And Right Management, I was given 6 months of their services when I was laid off. And I'd never used a company like them. They're an outsourcing company. They're a placement. They do have placements in them. How's that? But this part is to find your skill level and possible things that you had overlooked. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical. The first contact I had with the company was not great timing-wise. They had called me about 15 minutes after I'd been laid off, so I'm still in a state of shock. Lovely lady, absolutely lovely lady. But I'm going, hey, really? You're calling me now? A day would have been nice. I think that was more on the company side that had let me go than it was on Right Management's side. I don't think they had the right information. And then I started to talk to a couple of people, and they were all in the United States. And my concern with them being in the United States is it's not the same. The job market isn't the same. How we do things isn't the same. So it was a concern of mine. And I was contacted shortly thereafter by a wonderful counselor by the name of Colleen, and she's actually based in Vancouver. And she's about my age. So that made it much more comfortable. And I say that because I've been on the internet looking at different companies, and they're flashing up pictures of very young people. And it's not the same life experience. It's not the same mentality. And I'm sure they have wonderful skills. But I want somebody who knows me, who knows my age group. And so far, Right Management's been able to do that. Now, they're going to give you a bunch of tests. They're going to give you a lot of information. And if you have the opportunity to use them, I would. Now, there are several companies out there. I know Right Management, that's the one I'm using. If you're doing this privately, the information that I've been able to find is generally counselors for career counseling are anywhere between $250 and $500 an hour, or $500 to $1,000 a month. So that's a stiff bill. That is. I've been fortunate. I don't have to worry about that. Thank you very much. That's a blessing on my part. The internet is going to confuse you. For instance, I watched TED Talks, which has a lot of ways of finding jobs and doing things differently. I did a lot of YouTube videos on how to write a resume that makes you effective and easy to listen to, basically, how to answer questions and stuff like that. What gets me in the writing of the resume part is wording. So, you come to a part where it says, what are your affiliations? Are you outside organizations, things like that? What do you do in your spare time? And I knit. I knit a lot. I knit for charity. I knit for ill people. I knit for family. I knit for friends. I knit. That's one of the things I do. So do I say I knit? And I really like it. And it's relaxing, and it's a beautiful thing to do. And I'm fascinated with taking string and making a garment. Or do I have to word it in such a manner that I'm affiliated with the Society for the Advancement of Fiber Engineering? I personally find that puffed up. I don't find it truthful. But But there's an awful lot of companies out there who want me to word it that way. And that's the part I find frustrating. And that's where I was yesterday. Here I was trying to write this resume. The one thing Right Management does have is it has resume writing videos and events where you can partake in them. But they also have a couple of really good templates. The template I'm using now that I'm rather enjoying is much more conversational, and it's very directed. So this is something else I found out about resumes. You have to have a bunch of them. So if you're going to say, I was a salesman in the past and I want to be a salesman now, you're going to focus on nothing but that with a few fringes of this is what else I've done. If you want to be an admin, you're going to do, this is my admin work for the last 20 years and not talk about being your salesman. Again, I find that frustrating, but you have to narrow in. This is the world of internet. Now, one of the frustrations I had, and I briefly talked about it at the very beginning, was the Indeeds and the Monster.coms and the, applying online to different companies. These are all algorithm based. So in many respects, you have to dumb down. They don't want the experience that you have. They want a very specific type of experience. They want age. That's huge. And again, I think I talked about it before. They don't ask you how old you are. That's illegal in Canada. They ask you things like, what year did you graduate? That'll pretty much tell them. And I find that frustrating. And there'll be a lot of people out there that says, oh, that's not true. Well, when my sister was unemployed, she kept a detailed Excel spreadsheet. And this was before COVID, right? This was a downturn in the economy. But this was not COVID as well, which is just blowing people right out of the water to begin with. She has 400 resumes out on that spreadsheet. And in order to put a resume out, you have to go on to these websites. You have to upload your resume. You have to type out your resume. And then for every job you apply to, you have to attach your resume and you have to type out your resume. The typing out part is where the algorithms kick in, from what I can find. So they're the ones that say you have to have a BA in something, because now you have to have a BA, you have to have Bachelor's of Administration, which, sweet Jesus, I have no idea what that means. Because there's no job growth as an admin. There's very few admin positions that go up. You're an admin. So you've taken 4 years as a bachelor's. You need a Bachelor's of Admin. When a lot of admin work is basically duties as assigned. Where I worked, the admins were not admins, they were techs. Very little of what we did was paperwork. But we did a lot of fact-finding and presentation making and filling in spreadsheets and all sorts of good things like that. So what I'm going to suggest to you is you have to have a broad-based job search. You have to reach out to your friends, your acquaintances. One fellow, when I started this YouTube channel, basically said, show no shame, talk to everybody about your website. And I'm thinking, you have to? Yes, you do. And you know what? You're going to get some good responses. You're going to find areas that you didn't know people wanted you in. Right management? Absolutely. Internet? Absolutely. One of the things they talk about at Right Management is getting your branding, getting yourself out there, getting your 30-minute commercial, getting onto the different websites where you can connect with people. That's all part of it. That is, you need that now. But I think a lot of it is going to be word of mouth when people find out that you are available. I think you also have to start looking at, what do you want to do? And again, we've been doing some exercises, coloring outside the lines, finding how much money you need. This is an opportunity to choose jobs where you can have fun. And a lot of people where I worked, and I know a lot of people that work in others, don't like their jobs. They're there. They get money. Sometimes a lot of money. Which sometimes can be a burden because it keeps you there. But in many respects, they don't like their work. And 8 hours of not liking your work, or in many cases 10, 12, 14 hours of not liking your work, That's a very long time. And I think it's time that we've been given opportunities. I know COVID does not sound like an opportunity. A downturn in the economy does not sound like an opportunity. But we can start exploring what we like to do. Or who do we want to work for that matches who we are, right? I have some feelers out. I am working at the moment. Thank you very much. I'm working for 180 Kitchens, which is based out of Vancouver. It refinishes cabinets. I know these people. They're friends of mine. And they said, oh my God, you're available? Can we hire you part-time? Sure, absolutely you can. And we're having a blast. I'm in Alberta, and I'm doing everything over the internet because God love COVID, it's opened up a new avenue of where you work. And as this company expands out, and it will, and I strongly suggest that if you are in the lower mainland and the island and you want your kitchens refaced as opposed to having a full reno, I'd be calling 180 Kitchens. These guys are marvelous. And I'm working with them because they're quality. I'm working with them because they're fun. I'm working with them because they're growing. I'm working with them because I don't have to commute, which means I don't have to buy a car. Thank you. And being in COVID, I'm in a safe workspace where I know that's not an option for a lot of people. And bless them, they're out there working. So like I said, if you're going to be out there and you're going to be looking for work, start looking for stuff that you want to do. What do you want to do for the next 20 years? People are living longer. You know, you don't have to retire at 65. You don't have to retire at 60. You can retire at 75. You can retire at 80, wherever you want. But start looking for fun things to do. Use your skills. Use the right management. Use the internet. Use your friends. Use your imagination. I sent you a lot of things that told you about people starting their own startups. So do that. I'm Jean. We'll talk to you next week.